Look at this, I'm not tipping over any tables.
I like the new setup.
So, this is the moment when we welcome everyone who's here, because this is such a wonderful moment to come together and place in the forefront of our lives our spiritual path and honor that power that's within us that we call the Christ, that is the source of this wonderful, miraculous demonstration of the power of God. So welcome everybody. Here's the Christ candle. This flame represents you. And now would you find in your program folder our opening affirmation while the choir finds their seats. Yeah. And welcome, Catherine.
Hello.
I don't have to find my program folder because I know the affirmation by heart.
Most of us do.
I've been saying it since I was 4 years old. Okay. So the cue for us to join in together is when I say it together. All right, ready? Together.
We are a radiating center of divine love, mighty to attract our good and to radiate good to others.
And silently in your heart. And so it is. And now we have our platform assistant of the day, Edward Hall. Take it away, Edward. Here is the daily word right over there. Can you pick it up right there on that, yeah, on the music.
Oh,
There you go.
yes. Okay.
And here's your microphone.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Edward.
The daily word today is world peace. I bless the world with thoughts of peace. The word shalom is synonymous with the word peace, but it means more than absence of war and conflict. Shalom, appearing so frequently in the Bible, is also used to affirm wholeness and well-being. True, lasting well-being requires the kind of peace known by living in alignment with God. Anchored in peace, people are less likely to be in conflict and more likely to appreciate that the beautiful planet Earth offers goodness and abundance for all. When I pray for a peaceful world, I pray shalom for myself and for each person of every land to have their needs met, to know lasting well-being for themselves and their families, to live in harmony, and to work towards our common good. In James 3:18, and a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace for those who make peace.
Oops. Good morning, and it's your turn, number 207, Oh Brother Man. Oh, brother man, fall to thy heart and love, where kindness dwells, the peace of God is there. To worship rightly is to love each other. Each smile again, each kindly deed of prayer. Follow with reverence steps the great example of him whose holy work was doing good. So shall the wide earth see our Father's temple, each loving life a song of gratitude. Then shall all shackles fall, the stormy clangor of world war music o'er the earth shall cease. Love shall tread out the baleful fire of anger, and in its ashes plant the tree of peace. One of my favorites.
Yeah, I try to pick the favorite. I've noticed by working over the years with folks, their favorite songs. And I think the last hymn we have today, For the Beauty of the Earth, is one of Louis' favorites. And I noticed that, Oh Brother Man, I didn't even know that song till we did it with the bell choir. We had the handbells. So beautiful. And I noticed that today's service is especially beautiful with the music that we have. And talking about mythology, and it just so coincided with the plan to sing the Hero song by Mariah Carey, which is straight out of mythology. So it says that we are working together in a synchronistic, attuned way with the greater good and blessed. So right now it says on the program folder that it's called meditation intro because we're switching the order of the service and having the meditation come first. And I wanted to explain that because in the early days of Unity, this conversation just sort of dropped in our laps in the last few weeks. The early days of Unity, and Charles and I were there to witness it. Charles Fillmore said, you should have the meditation before the lesson to prepare your subconscious mind to receive it deeply so that it becomes part of your internalized understanding, right? And so over the years, there was the meditation, and then there was like a break in the service. Like my mother did it by having the announcements come after the meditation to get people back with their feet on the ground and centered and stabilized. And then she'd have a hymn and then do the talk. But over the years, people started to feel like, well, the meditation is really the high point for me, and the sermon gets me open and sort of receptive to experience that meditation high that we get in the silence. So over the years, it switched. And it's been our practice now for a long time to have the talk lead into the meditation. But just so that we don't do the same thing all the time and get callous to it. And because a couple people said, well, I'd like to try it the old way and see what it feels like. So we're starting to do it this way for, who knows how long as it feels good. And so I would really like your feedback because I don't want to switch right back to the old way next Sunday. We'll just continue this for a while. Maybe we'll never go back to the other way in the foreseeable future. Maybe we will, I don't know, But what I notice is that our services have become what was my original intention, a co-creation. Our musicians co-create, our choir co-creates, you in the audience feel free to raise your hand and contribute when you have a thought, and to be present in your feeling of devotion and community. I really feel that, and people feel that when they come here. And so this is a co-creation, and we're going to switch that order today. And so our next hymn is actually to prepare us for a time of meditation. And what is that hymn?
Number 46.
Which is
Still
with thee. One of my favorites.
last in thee I hold.
Beautiful song. Thank you so much. So now to partake of this experience within. Our first step is relaxation. To let go, let our bodies rest in our chairs. Let our breath become regular and soft. Breathing in the breath of life. Let our minds likewise soften. Let those judgments and opinions and resistances, whatever they may be, let them just easily drain away. And in the earlier years of unity, the silence was held with an affirmation in mind. And so I offer you this little affirmation, just you don't have to repeat it, just to concentrate on it. I am ready to feel and know the truth revealed by your love, God. Revealed by your love, God. And we hold that feeling, that readiness now in the silence. And we give thanks that you feel and know the eternal truth is our privilege, moment by moment. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Well, our program folder in the order of service, it calls for sharing now, but that doesn't feel right to me. It feels like going into the talk now. So we'll have sharing some other time. Come back tomorrow. No, just here. All right then. By the way, my notes are available. Anytime you want to see the notes from a sermon, it's in the following week's program folder on the right-hand side. Are you aware of that? And if you want the notes the same day, you can just have them. I'll just give them to you. Here, put in my bid. No. So, and if nobody wants them, I put them out there underneath the topics planned. They're all in a pile if you want to take them, really. Or if you want me to just send them to you, just tell me. Okay. Because this is actually my main work, is writing something for you to hear on Sunday. Okay. All right. So we're doing this two-part series on mythology. So I'm raising the question, so why? Why mythology? Well, if you look up, if you ask AI what is mythology, I was referred to a video on YouTube by a very scholarly person who knew about mythology, who said mythology encompasses, literature. It was the religion of the people of the time. It was their science. It was, and it encompasses psychology now today. We find the psychology of humanity in these stories. It encompasses anthropology. It's a feature of the culture of the time, and even sociology. So it's quite a landscape. And within the culture of Christianity, just our Christian umbrella, mythology is controversial. May I remind you of the witch persecution in medieval times? I mean, in the name of Jesus, the horrible acts of cruelty have happened to the people who believed in mythology and non-Christian types of constructs. So that said, it seems like a good time maybe to clarify the presence of truth in the ancient as well as modern lore and the legends that occupy our cultural habitat now. So, how many of you are familiar with Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who wrote a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves? That?
Yeah.
It was very popular. Venus raising her hand. Yeah. It was very popular in the late 1990s and over into the early 2000s. Unity embraced it, and she was a psychoanalyst who wrote a book that clarified, that distinguished an archetype in females that she called the wild woman archetype. And this is a characteristic that is not influenced by outer appearances, outer influences, but goes from the instinctual nature within. As we see that, we think we see that wolves behave in this way. Female wolves, instinctually protect and nurture their young and outsmart the forces that would destroy them. So this was the wild woman archetype that was celebrated and brought forth. It kind of balanced the heroic archetype that we were talking all about in the hero's journey, although women are heroes and men are wild men. But we can derive from her work the value of looking at myths to discover how this strengthens us in our way of being in life. You get that? We can see a model for how we can recognize the strengths that we possess and use them in life. So Carl Jung, the some people consider him the greatest mind of the 20th century. Do you? Yes? I've heard it said by Unity people, teachers at the village. They consider him one of the great minds, if not the. Anyway, he developed the concept of archetypal psychology, which is why we're even doing this. Because if you don't know a little bit about the myths and the stories and the characters, then you can't figure out what the archetypes are saying. So it brought to the mainstream of intellectual conversations these archetypes. And what is an archetype? It's the same thing as what we teach in metaphysics as a divine idea. And some divine idea examples are our 12 powers, order, imagination, faith, will. Those are all what we would call divine ideas that exist in the consciousness of what is deemed as the Christ. Well, likewise, archetypes are qualities that exist in the domain of mind that distinguish certain features, that distinguish certain qualities, okay? And the hero's journey of Odysseus, you see, is one of the main referential points that we talk about. And I must confess that I find the story of Odysseus, his what in Roman he's called Ulysses, right? Odysseus, took 10 years after he went off to war for 10 years, and then it took him 10 years to get back to his beloved wife, Penelope. And I do find that the most thrilling of all the myths that I know of is their reunion. He comes back and she's had so many suitors and she doesn't even recognize him. And so he has to prove that it's really him. You know how he proves it? Do you know? No, you. Yeah, so here how he proves it is that there's a secret about their marriage bed. Okay, spoiler alert, I'm going to spoil the okay. Yes, their marriage bed was built on a tree and it was immovable. And so she would always test her suitors by saying, well, could you move the bed a little bit? And if they tried to move the bed, then she knew it wasn't him. Yeah. And so they were reunited. Very romantic, isn't it? Anyway, but every story is a metaphor for a life experience. Every plot line is a lesson for cause and effect. Every character is an illustration of a human dynamic, be it motivation, be it the character or the temperament illustrated by that character. So the question becomes, where do you find yourself? In the struggle of Atlas bearing the weight of the world? How about in the deception of the Trojan horse sent in to be a gift, but actually it's disguised as soldiers, assassins coming in to take over the city? And then there's the struggle of Odysseus and his long odyssey to get back home. Have you heard of where he has to go between Scylla and Charybdis? And it's the struggle of a person trying to avoid two equally disastrous fates. It's not like you're trying to get to the good, but oftentimes life has that, where we have to navigate dangerous waters. Scylla was a monster that had seven heads that would sing the soldiers in and then devour them. And Charybdis was a whirlpool that would sink the ship. So to get between those two things was something that he had to do on his hero's journey. Or do you find yourself in the grief of Demeter, who lost her precious daughter, Persephone, to Hades? And that was the explanation. That story explained why we have winter and summer, why we have 6 months of of nothing, death, and 6 months of blossoming and flourishing was because Persephone's mother was so aggrieved that she had been married off to Hades, who took her to his realm, that they made a deal that they could each have her for half a year, and that's why we have the seasons. Yeah, but in the grief of this mother, we find ourselves sometimes. It's a painful occurrence that is reflected in this mythology. How about the three goddesses competing for the golden apple, who said this is for the most beautiful person? They all thought they were the most beautiful. Oh, I do that all the time. No. And then there's the Achilles heel, wounded by a hapless accident that disabled him to defeat the enemy. Or the mythology of the Arabian Nights. Who was the boy who found the magic genie in the lamp? What was his name? Aladdin, yes, yeah. And that's a whole area of mythology, Arabic mythology. Now, or in the Arthurian legends, that's a huge area of mythology. Arthur. Married to a revered king, seduced by a gallant knight, or being a secret mystic, privy to the deepest truths, but working in shadows, Merlin. We all have a Merlin side to us, yeah. And I'm deliberately leaving out the area of alchemy and Hermeticism and Hermes Trismegistus for next week, because that needs a whole day of its own. And many of you are know about this alchemical transformation, turning lead into gold. And the gal who wrote the Harry Potter series, she used a lot of that lore in her, and the kids just loved it. But we'll get to that next week. But the question of why does Christianity have such a struggle with these subjects still remains. So I was introduced to why in this novel called The Mists of Avalon. Anybody know that? The Mists of Avalon. It was a bestseller, a hugely popular novel. It came out right about the same time as Women Who Run with the Wolves, the late 90s. And written by a woman named Marion Zimmer Bradley, who's an English woman, I believe. Anyway, she wrote it in English. So and it was made into a miniseries starring Juliana Margulies. Thank you very much. Yeah, but anyway, so this novel, one of the few novels I read twice, because a few years after I read it, I missed it, and I had to have it again. But it tells the story of King Arthur and Guinevere and Lancelot and the Knights of the Round Table from the viewpoint of his sister Morgana Le Fay. And in the regular rendition of Arthur's legends, she is an evil sorceress. But in this novel, the researcher has delved into the myths of Arthur's legends and come up with a plausible retelling of the whole thing from the viewpoint of the sister, who is not an evil sorceress, but a very gifted spiritual, priestess, And that was when I first realized, well, the Christians came in and took over the indigenous people's teachings, the Druids, the nature spirituality. They just took it over mercilessly. And that was really a perversion of the original Jesus movement. But, it's revealed in the Mists of Avalon that St. Patrick did not rid actual snakes out of Ireland. It was the Druids who had snakes tattooed on their arms that he had them all destroyed one way or another. Yeah, it was a murderous type process. Yeah, cruel, very cruel. So the development of orthodoxy was a complete perversion of the Jesus movement, really. We must not allow ourselves to be influenced by this way of thinking. It is self-righteous and provincial. That means self-righteous means that we're the only ones that can be right, right? And provincial is taking small view and not the greater view of the greater good. So the truth that we proclaim that is in all religions is at stake here. These oral and written traditions, these ancient legends and myths, they all contribute to the ocean of our humanity. It all has meaning for us. It can give us strength. It can give us clarity and even warning as we face the vicissitudes of life. To know within each of us is the possibility of all these outcomes, that we have the power to choose, is, perhaps the secret of life. Let me say it again. To know that within each of us is the possibility of all these outcomes, and that we have the power to choose, is perhaps the secret of life. Our own exalted hero, Jesus, the one who healed, the one who taught forgiveness and non-judgment, gave us a great gift when he said, quote, "For lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world." And I'll leave you with that. So let us close this portion of the service by singing that wonderful song, "For the Beauty of the Earth," giving thanks for all of these traditions and truths and manifestations. And that's page number
305.
305. Bless you.
Good morning, Louie.
Hey. sharing, the collecting of the offering, the special music by the choir. So I propose that while we have time for sharing and I give a few announcements, the choir takes their seats to do the special music. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to say that we just have one definite date in our calendar. Christmas Eve candle lighting service. Wednesday, December 24th at 7 o'clock. And we'll have our wonderful musician with us, Louis. Tomorrow this time I'll be on the road on my way to Moline, Illinois to go to the Great Lakes Unity Conference, where there's a lot of buzz about how the Unity headquarters is combining what used to be Unity School and Unity Ministers Association into one corporation. And that's going to happen in November, we hope. And there's just so much talk about that. It seems simple to me, but I guess not. What else? Tomorrow is the Dream Group from 1 to 3. I won't be there. I miss being there. Anyway, we're having a great time talking about our dreams, dredging up our deeply embedded, buried subconscious issues. Right? Right. There it is. Anything else we want to share? I did want to say that today is the last Sunday we'll have John, Catalina, and Carolina with us for a while. They're heading down south to Florida and then Peru, but you're always in our hearts. And Wednesday night is the last night that John can do the open mic, and he was such a big hit last month. I want to take them, but I don't think I'll be back in time. So we're looking for somebody to take them to the open mic night Wednesday at 7 o'clock at the Book Nook. I'll head over there when I get to town. Oh, thank you, Trish. Okay, great. Yeah, because Wednesday night.
Wednesday, that's the 24th. I can't.
Okay, so we don't have somebody yet, but we're open to a car full of people going over to the Book Nook Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. When I get back to town, I'll go straight over there. It'll probably be 7 when I get back, But we're also going to still have our coloring group the first Saturday in October, even though Carolina will not be there. I'll be there, and anybody who wants to join us will be there.
And
So,
I'll be connecting.
And you'll be connecting virtually?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now so now we want to bless our offering. Okay, huh?
We have to take it up first.
I know, but we have to offering bless again. You want me to lead it since you're already there, Edward? Okay. As we take our gifts in our hand to bless them with love, let us realize the power we have to direct the flow of abundance into the lives of people everywhere. We dedicate these gifts to the intention of Unity Spiritual Center to be a presence and influence for the greater good in the world, highest good in the world. So let us say our affirmation together.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive.
I love our music. So I'm dedicating the gifts now.
We can't keep up with your randomness, Diane.
My randomness. I'm a wild woman. And so this is to acknowledge and give thanks to each and every one of us all who contributes to this ongoing work and dedicate this work and this substance to the greatest good of all. Thank you. Amen. And so now let's circle up for the peace
Dave.
song.
Dave.
Dave.
And our prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth.
And join us for snack.
Most importantly, coffee.
What were you trying to say?
Okay.
Family.
Of course. And we're done.